was a very hard decision to make, but yes, I will be listing this card on a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace. It allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together. I'll also be listing it for $5 million instead of the $5.
If you thought Logan Paul's CryptoZoo controversy was the peak of his chaos, think again, because this next story somehow manages to go even further. This time, it's not just internet outrage or broken promises, it's real money. And a lot of it. Millions of dollars are reportedly unaccounted for, fans are demanding answers, and federal regulators are now investigating more closely than ever. Years ago, Logan proudly claimed this venture as his own creation. He promoted it, he hyped it, he stood at the front of it. But now, as the pressure builds, he's suddenly trying to distance himself, saying he wasn't directly involved. Whether this ends in a private settlement or serious legal consequences, one thing is undeniable. Logan Paul is facing a level of scrutiny he's never dealt with before. So, what exactly is this latest disaster everyone's talking about? It's called Liquid Marketplace. Logan sold it as the future of collectibles, a revolutionary platform that would let everyday fans own pieces of ultra-rare items without needing billionaire-level money. The pitch was simple and seductive. If one collectible costs $5 million, why should only one rich person own it? Why not split it up? According to the idea, fans could buy digital tokens representing fractional ownership digitally represented by tokens of rare trading cards, memorabilia, and high-value collectibles. Those fractions could then be traded freely on the platform. On paper, it sounded like innovation, like access, like opportunity. But as always, reality set in. Logan didn't quietly roll this out in the background. He went all in. He publicly talked about it, proudly calling himself a co-founder. He framed it as a win for fans, a way for the collective to own elite assets together. Instead of one person holding everything, everyone could share a piece of the upside. At least that's how it was sold. What fans are now questioning is how much control they ever really had, and whether they owned anything meaningful at all. Because instead of a transparent, smoothly functioning marketplace, what emerged looks disturbingly familiar. A high-risk financial experiment where millions appear to have disappeared. Liquid Marketplace wasn't just another side project. Logan branded it as a way to level the playing field for collectors. And at the center of it all was the most valuable asset, the most famous display of wealth of Logan Paul's collecting career. The Pikachu Illustrator card, the rarest and most valuable Pokemon card on Earth. This wasn't some card you toss into a binder. This is museum-level material. The kind of item you'd expect to be protected by alarms, glass cases, and a security guard with an absurd backstory. Logan didn't just own it. He wore it. He flaunted it. He turned it into a symbol of his transformation from YouTuber to serious investor. That card became part of his identity. Recently, Logan even appeared on Fox Business talking about alternative investing, while reports quietly surfaced that he may auction the card in early 2026. But here's where things get uncomfortable. While preaching about unconventional investments, he was also giving advice that left many people stunned. Forget traditional assets, forget stocks, forget safer long-term plays. Instead, Logan was essentially telling young audiences to look at collectibles, or better yet, buy fractions of them through his platform. Imagine being a young fan hearing that advice. Instead of being guided towards stability, you're being nudged toward a flashy, high-risk system that's now facing regulatory investigations. That mix of hype, confidence, and chaos is classic Logan Paul. But this time, it came with consequences. Because Liquid Marketplace didn't stay buried. On Christmas Eve, Logan finally addressed what happened with the Pikachu Illustrator card. According to him, the card had been listed on Liquid Marketplace, allowing fans to buy fractional shares represented by tokens. The plan was straightforward. When the card was sold or repurchased, token holders would receive their share of the payout. Logan claims that in May 2024, he repurchased the card himself. In theory, that should have triggered payouts to every fractional owner. If you owned a piece, you should have been paid. Logan even stated that everything had been handled correctly. But then came the twist. Soon after, Liquid Marketplace and several of its executives reportedly came under federal scrutiny. And suddenly, Logan's tone shifted. He claimed he didn't have insight into the payout process anymore, because, in his words, it doesn't relate to me. That's where fans began to question his claims, because people who bought those tokens say they never received their money. Funds appear frozen. Withdrawals aren't happening. Balances remain inaccessible. Logan ended his statement with reassuring words, saying he's actively working with Liquid Marketplace to ensure funds are released soon, just as intended when he repurchased the card. But the internet immediately noticed a problem. Back in 2022, Logan openly called Liquid Marketplace his next company. He promoted it aggressively. He attached his name to it. That evidence still exists. So when millions of dollars are missing, people aren't accepting the concerned outsider narrative. And this is why it matters. Logan's tweet reads like he's just someone trying to help from the sidelines, but the reality is very different. He co-founded the platform. He promoted it relentlessly. He benefited from its credibility. The story he's telling now doesn't align with how involved he appeared from the start, and fans see the contradiction clearly. So how did this platform even work? Imagine owning a rare Rolex, a signed Kobe Bryant card, or a one-of-one Pokémon collectible. Instead of selling it traditionally, you lock it away in a vault and sell digital fractions online. Buyers never touch the item. They never see it. They never hold it. It's like owning a piece of a Lamborghini you'll never drive, sit in, or even see. You just own the idea of it. According to allegations from the Ontario Securities Commission, this is where everything fell apart. The biggest question became painfully simple. What did people actually own? Fans poured money into Liquid Marketplace, believing they were buying legitimate stakes in high-value collectibles. But regulators alleged that millions of dollars were diverted. In June 2024, the OSC filed enforcement proceedings, claiming executives misused investor funds while misleading regulators. Reports suggest that around $3 million of over $10 million raised was allegedly misappropriated through hidden payments, questionable transfers, and interest-free personal loans that were never repaid. Logan's name wasn't listed in the filing, but given how heavily he promoted the platform, many fans aren't convinced that absolves him, and it gets worse. According to regulators, only a small fraction of the collectibles listed on Liquid Marketplace had proper legal agreements backing them. That means many users weren't legally entitled to anything they paid for. No contract, no ownership, just a digital receipt. If that sounds familiar, it's because it echoes past NFT disasters. Flashy promises with nothing solid underneath. Fast forward to now, and users are flooding social media with the same complaints: locked accounts, missing balances, inaccessible funds, and total confusion. For a platform built entirely on trading fractional ownership, that's catastrophic. And this isn't just internet drama. The Ontario Capital Markets Tribunal has officially scheduled hearings for June 18th and 19th, 2026. That means the investigation is active. Very active. Logan's Christmas Eve statement looks less like transparency and more like damage control. The timing raises serious questions. Why address this now? Why wait over a year? To many, it feels like a response to mounting legal pressure. Even though Logan isn't named directly, his involvement is well documented through interviews, press releases, promotion. And when your name is front and center while millions are missing, people don't just want explanations, they demand accountability. And this leads to the bigger issue. Why does Logan Paul keep diving into complex financial ventures, pitching them to fans, and acting surprised when they collapse? At some point, it stops looking like bad luck and starts looking like a pattern. Fans aren't just disappointed anymore, they're angry. So what happens next? As of now, Logan says he's working to help users access their funds. The OSC investigation continues. Hearings are scheduled, but whether fans will ever see their money again remains uncertain. One thing is clear, every time Logan launches a new investment or platform, it seems to spiral into controversy, legal trouble, and financial loss for the people who trusted him. Maybe it's time for Logan to stick to what made him famous: boxing, WWE, and content creation, and leave complex financial ventures to experienced professionals.